Biohazard warning. Entering contaminated zone. Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only. Backup activated. System rebooted.
Citizens of the nation! What's up, guys? It's your boy Sly, and I'm back to deliver some Division awesomeness straight to your eye holes. And since it's still Monday, most people are out on spring break. Well, except colleges, but you might still be out recovering from it. Anyways, it's time to get our learn on. You know, I get asked a lot of questions about the Division, whether it's through tweets, instant messages, people popping in party chat. I mean, whatever the method, the biggest questions people are asking are always about modifications and the granddaddy of them all, accuracy. Unfortunately, there are a lot of misconceptions about accuracy in the world of gaming, and I want to try to help strike out some of the false information you might have read and try to straighten things out while keeping a boring topic entertaining and hoping it all makes sense in the end. So, let's try to get on with it, guys. One thing you could knock off your list straight away is accuracy and stability. One and the same? No. In the real world, they might go hand in hand, but not in video games. Another common misconception is that the higher the accuracy of a specific weapon, the more it'll help you put bullets on your target even with horrible aim. Accuracy and aim assists are again two different things entirely. Now, a weapon with higher accuracy will not help you hit your target any better than a weapon with lower accuracy if your aim is complete doo-doo. So with those two myths dispelled, let's talk about accuracy in the gaming world and what it really is. First things first, accuracy is a way to differentiate weapon types and allow for weapon categories. In a game like The Division, the projectiles, or bullets as you can call them, from one weapon are the same size and roughly move the same speed as any and all other weapons in this game. Whether it's a shotgun and its pellets, an assault rifle, or even a high-caliber marksman rifle, the quote-unquote bullets in this game are simply graphics assigned a number. Now, without getting into too much details, let's just leave it at that. So if everything shoots the same projectile, and if there wasn't such a thing as accuracy and optimal range, you would pretty much use a submachine gun for everything primary in most gunfighting scenarios. Now, of course, not at extreme distances. But as for automatic weapons, the damage per bullet is always higher than the rest, the stability is insane, and it's a weapon that is much easier to handle, so it would pretty much be a no-brainer. Here is where accuracy comes into play. Every weapon has a certain accuracy in the Division, and as you can see by these images, the longer the effective range of a weapon, the better the accuracy. This helps to break up weapons into actual categories and create a niche for each of them. This gives the player not only more choices and loadouts, but different handling weapons that we can equip depending on our individual strengths as a player. So, now that I explained what accuracy is, let's go ahead and take a look at it in action. Now, if you watched my videos in the past, I usually oversimplified it and called it simply bullet spread. Now, this isn't wrong, or is it right, but let's take a look at why. So let's start off with this Caduceus, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, while I'm standing still, the crosshairs are just that, crossing each other. The dot in the middle is a visual representation of where you want your bullets to land. You put that dot on a target, and it will go there every single time. For the first few shots, this is true in any and all weapons in the Division. However, start laying down on a trigger and you will notice that the crosshairs start to slowly spread out. The longer you hold down the trigger, the wider the gap between the crosshair becomes. You are witnessing video game accuracy in action. Now think of that gap between the crosshairs as your new sight. Instead of having a pinpoint where you would put a bullet anywhere you want to, this new spread out crosshair will show you the spread of your bullets, and it takes a lot of control away from the user. Your bullets no longer travel in a straight and tightly grouped line, they now travel in the shape of a cone. The point of the cone is the barrel of your gun, and the farther out the cone extends, the larger the bullet spread. Now, even though you might have a bad guy centered exactly in the middle of those open crosshairs, chances are that only half of your bullets downrange will actually hit their target. Let's look at it this way. While you're standing still and not firing, your crosshairs are tight and precise. This makes your bullet projection the same. Everything fired while the crosshairs are next to each other will travel in a fairly straight line. A tightly compacted cone would be like a better visual idea. Since assault rifles are only meant for medium close to medium far encounters, their accuracy will start to reflect that at long ranges. So now after laying down on the trigger, the larger the cone will widen, and the longer you spam the trigger, the wider the cone will become. This is accuracy. Take a look on screen, guys. I made these crusty images to try to show you guys how this would look in game. If each bullet could leave a tracer behind you to show its path, it would look something similar to a cone like this. Now, like I said before, when you're standing still and the crosshairs are tight, your bullet projection will reflect that. Then moving on to the next image, start holding down the trigger, and then as the crosshairs widen, so will your cone. Hold it down for the entire clip. By the end of that mag, your cone will be pretty big, making precise aiming that much harder. Now notice on my vector that besides at the very beginning when I'm standing still and having not fired the weapon for a little bit, you will see a small dot appear in the center. Just like the assault rifles or any other weapon, your first few bullets will land right there every time. They're programmed to do that. However, after a few short shots, you'll start to see how naturally inaccurate SMGs are. First, you can tell by their extremely round reticle. Not only that, but the circle widens the longer it's fired. It doesn't widen by much, but that's because it starts off so horrible in the first place. Alright y'all, this is my last illustration, and it's another view of accuracy, but this time in first person. So we now know that whatever state your reticle or crosshairs are in will determine your bullet spread. Once your crosshairs start to separate, this will severely punish you for shooting at long distances. Now looking through this submachine gun reticle, we know that the bullets will land within this circle we're looking through. However, move the target back 20 to 30 feet, and now look what's within that circle. Not a lot of target, but a lot of open air and missed bullets. Submachine guns are made for close to medium close encounters, depending on which type of submachine gun, of course, and their accuracy is naturally horrible because that's how the developers limit submachine guns, so there can be a place for auto rifles, which is the next range category. Then, so people don't start slapping scopes onto ARs and firing them as single-shot weapons, they limit accuracy and damage at range to open up a spot for marksman rifles. This is how accuracy works in video games, and while not completely realistic, it does a pretty decent job of separating all the different weapons into their own individual categories. Adding modifications to your weapons will allow you to increase your accuracy for whatever your favorite weapon is, and in the Division, add an extra accuracy onto a weapon in the form of a mod extends the number of shots you can fire before the crosshairs start to split open. So instead of losing your ability to put bullets where you want them, add some accuracy onto your weapon and it will increase the amount of time and bullets you can pump out of your weapon before your bullet grouping starts to go to hell. However, if you're looking for an easy fix, start shooting in bursts. Every time you let go of the trigger, your crosshairs will reposition themselves back to normal, allowing you to once again put the bullets exactly where you want them to go. Well, that's it guys, class is done, and I hope that if you were wondering exactly what accuracy does, then I answered your questions fully. If not, let me know in the comments below and I will definitely try to clarify whatever is confusing you. I plan to make a short follow-up video about range here in the next day or so, but range isn't really that hard of a concept, so it shouldn't really be all that long of a video. Thank you guys for watching. I want to sincerely thank all of you that joined the nation over the past week. You know, a little while ago, I was excited about passing 600 subscribers, and in a matter of days, I'm on my way to 800. So thank you for giving the smaller guy a chance, and I hope to see each and every one of you stay with me for the long haul. I actually just started YouTube 6 months ago, and I'm looking forward to where we go next. And to all of those that have been with me since the start, guys, you know I could not have done this without y'all. Thanks guys, seriously, each and every one of you. But with that said, if you want to stay up to date on everything Destiny, The Division, and new uploads from Sly Nation, Twitter is the best place to do so. Follow this bastard at Sly Nation and be alerted to any new uploaded vids or exciting news about our favorite games. I'm out y'all. To all my citizens out there, work hard, play harder, and until next time agents, this is your boy Sly. I'm done, I'm gone, and I am out.
Ammo inbound. Zone B secure.